What is going on, everybody? Now, before we get heavy into it, I figured I'd kind of reiterate what the topic of tonight is. For those of you playing the home game, I want to know what you think it means that 4-LOM from Empire Strikes Back is being released by Medicom Mafex. I might be grasping at straws. I probably am, in fact, but I really want it to mean that they're going for it, and Mafex is going to start putting out a line of original trilogy, or even better, Empire Strikes Back figures. That would make me so happy. But it could just be they realized they sold Boba Fett, the Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi versions, and what? I think it was around, was it 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. They might just be thinking, oh, hey, we have the Star Wars license and they're going to let us start making figures again based on some of this original trilogy stuff. Let's finish out the Bounty Hunters. So maybe the next one's Bosk, and then we get an IG-88 or something like that. But I really hope it means we're getting original trilogy stuff. But again, if you're checking this out on the replay, let me know what you think it means in the comments below. And now, let's talk to the people. Harry 4-LOM, easy choice. C-3PO, body, new head. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not that bright, but I did not think of that. Didn't even put that together. But man, that would be awesome. And I'm sitting here right now thinking, I think it was just Return of the Jedi Boba Fett and Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett, but that's right. Mafex made R2 and C-3PO way back when as well. Did they make any other original trilogy figures? Like, I think their Darth Vaders have been based on Rogue One and other stuff, but I don't think they were original trilogy versions. I'm just not sure. Let me know. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Or what you know, because clearly I don't. AR Medics did it first. Medics. Are we going Transformers? I would be shocked if we're not going Transformers on this. See, afternoon from Arizona. What is going on, Gunstar? Ooh, you got nice weather over there, I'm sure. Although it is finally starting to turn here. I'm kind of stoked. Tomorrow's supposed to be in the 60s or something, and I haven't had that much lately. AR, people say Chase was the first mainline Rescue Bots figure, but he came out and United. Medics was in Evolution. I had a feeling we were going Transformers on that. I don't know which one Medics is. I thought I knew my Transformers. Apparently, I suck again. Good googly moogly. Spaded one, I'm totally thrown off. I had to read that a couple times because totally confused. When it doesn't start with great, I need to take a swig of tea to try and get over my astonishment, actually. Delectable. Because I added honey. Tea on its own, not tasty. For real. That's right. Or see, we are going Transformers. I had a sneaking suspicion. I don't know why. Totally lost on that. See, oops, forgot. Dave! Harry! Thanks, man. Don't even worry about it. Trying to still gather my thoughts on what 4-LOM could mean. I want the 4-LOM thing to mean so much, and I'm afraid I'm going to be let down, and that makes me sad. AR Medics is a Medibot, a medic from Rescue Bots. He's a green ambulance. I remember, you know what? I was going to say I remember Chase. I don't know that I remember Chase or that I just saw that he was coming out with Legacy or whichever line you were talking about there. Maybe I don't know any of the Rescue Bots. I remember being kind of shocked when I saw an Optimus Prime Rescue Bot in a toy aisle once. Let's see. No, not movie one Ratchet. Yeah, movie one Ratchet. The first The first was real Ratchet. Not real Ratchet. I don't mean to come off as like one of those that just says, because I hate reading real fans think this. No. When I said real, I didn't mean real. I just meant the first Ratchet, the G1 Ratchet. Although he definitely wasn't in Rescue Bots. I shouldn't say that. I didn't watch Rescue Bots. Maybe he was. I know nothing. Of course, I have both. Good man, AR. Spaded One finally tracked down a 97 Gambit yesterday. It looks like that first wave got a re-release. Cool beans. I like cool beans. Well, I don't actually. Funny story. My dad made me sit down and eat a can of cold baked beans. Those are the ones with like, they're kind of in the sauce and they come in a can. That was disgusting. And I didn't get up from the table for, I'll bet, 2 or 3 hours because that was just nasty. And then to be evil later on, and I didn't even realize I was doing this while I was doing it, I had my niece try some cauliflower crust pizza, which really isn't that different from like bread pizza. It's just thinner. I mean, there's a slightly different taste, but not crazy different, right? And she started crying, and then I felt bad and made her keep eating it anyway. Like, no, I made the cauliflower crust pizza. You will eat the cauliflower crust pizza. And it all came full circle. Let's see. He never appeared in the show. Oh, thank goodness. All right. Then I'm going to pretend I knew that all along and knew what I was talking about. Though he did get several mentions in conversations. That's kind of cool. I wonder how much talking about the other Autobots did you get in Rescue Bots? Okay, what was the point of eating a can of room temperature beans? Like, what was the lesson? I don't know. I think the lesson was sit down and eat the beans because I can make you. I don't know. There was no lesson out of that. But it made for an entertaining story. See, it's nice to get more OT figs, but we still don't have a Bespin Leia or a decent Bespin or Hoth Luke. See, that brings up another point with the whole 4-LOM thing. I would think if you got the Empire Strikes Back license, and we're just going to go off that because that's what's on the package. Maybe it's not all the original trilogy or whatever. Although, like, I was thinking, what anniversary is coming up? It'll come out in the 45th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back, which seems like a weird anniversary number. So I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think they were just able to make an Empire Strikes Back 4-LOM. But you're right. And that is something where if you do have it and you're going to be able to really dive deep on The Empire Strikes Back, why do you start with 4-LOM and not? I mean, to me, the obvious choice would be a Bespin Luke. Like, I want them all, but he was kind of the guy, like a Bespin Luke. Like, if you really wanted to go nuts on the Empire, next month, Mafex solicits a Bespin Luke and a Bespin, Cloud City, never mind, and a Bespin Darth Vader. And Luke, of course, has to have a chopped off hand. But that's where you're like, oh, they made Luke and Vader. They might be thinking we're going to go a little nuts here. And that would make me very happy. Excuse me while I try and drop the laptop off this makeshift table. AR, there were many references to other shows and characters. Unfortunately, very few people got rigged models due to Hasbro working on funding RID 2015, so the production of the show was cut. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I was thinking about that with Star Wars Rebels today. Like, I don't know that it had anything to do with a line. I'm sure it didn't, but they didn't have a great animation budget. So I was like, did I really like Rebels as much as I thought I did? These are the weird things that pop into my head. Evening, folks. Mr. Matson, good evening. Looks like Savage Crucible is about to ship my Ramen Toys CAG set for the McFarlane Batmobile. Has shipped. Let's see, is about to ship. Oh, I missed an exclamation point. My Ramen Toys CAG set for the McFarlane Batmobile has shipped. Ooh, all right. Yeah, that's going to look nice. That's going to be pretty. Congratulations, sir. That's awesome. Star Wars is a wild license. They still have so many things people badly want. There's always another variant of a character or droid worth doing. This is true. And it's one of the things, though, that I wonder when it comes to the figures that Disney has basically made other people put out. And I don't mean figures necessarily as much as just characters, because Disney's been really pushing their stuff. It makes me wonder if the reason that that stuff's not selling, like for me personally, I really liked Mando season 1 and 2. I liked Clone Wars 6 and 7, which were the 2 Clone Wars years that were under Disney. I did look that up before checking this out. I mean, technically Disney owned them while Clone Wars season 5 was running, but season 5 had started before Disney actually inked the deal. So I'm not giving them that one. But yeah, season 6 and 7 of Clone Wars, 1 through 4 of Rebels, and then Rogue One. I thought Rogue One was really good, actually. I didn't dig it enough to really want toys out of it. Mando seasons 1 and 2. And I don't think Ahsoka's as bad as most people think it is. It's just that Filoni's writing style needs to be a little more made for live action TV and kind of move along a little faster, I think. And then I think I've got pretty much all of them. I didn't like anything in the sequel trilogy. I mean, The Force Awakens was fine until they killed Han, and then I decided, well, this isn't worth my time. And you all know, I mean, everybody knows Andor was technically a really good show. It was hard for me because after they blew up the first place in like the 3rd or 4th episode, which I thought was a cool lead in to making that happen, suddenly I didn't want to watch any of the shows. So for me, I did, but I was like, oh man, it's so hard. It's so depressing. I really don't want to watch it. I should be watching something a little more light, but I did it. So I know technically Andor was a great show, and I know a lot of people love it. So this isn't me sitting here saying, oh, Andor sucked. I know better. Just wasn't necessarily for me, but we talked about that quite a bit last time. Overall, what I'm getting at is I don't feel like a lot of characters that Disney has created have been given really strong personality and really strong character. And I wonder if a lot of people are like me, where maybe the plot, I mean, you need a plot, but the plot isn't as important to me as the characters are. And so when you have characters that aren't given a lot of character, except again, all the shows I mentioned, then it kind of feels like no wonder stuff doesn't do as well and people don't want to buy that stuff as much. Whereas things from the original trilogy, and I'll even give it the prequel trilogy because of Clone Wars. Clone Wars made those prequels acceptable. Those characters all had character. And so I just kind of wonder. I don't know. Basically what I'm getting at is those are characters that are really well developed versus a lot of what Disney's put out that aren't really well developed characters. And I wonder if that's why sales numbers haven't been great with Star Wars figures now, and why maybe Mafex is being allowed to go back to The Empire Strikes Back, and my Hasbro's doing a lot more Clone Wars type stuff. There are many, many factors at play here. And I mean, you just heard about 80 of them in my brain. AR, we will never see Medics, Prowl, Brushfire, Blue, RB Blur, or Windblade. RB. Help me out. Help me out, AR. What's RB? I feel like I should know what RB. Rescue Bots. Never mind. See, animation was still great. See, I didn't watch that one. Like, I watched most Transformers series, but I didn't watch that one. I haven't seen any Earthspark. I kind of lost interest in Cyberverse. Yeah, I don't know. Mr. Matson, so everyone should check out our Power of the Force reviews next month. There will be one every day. Let's see, Paradolsum Real. It's going to be fun. Paradoxes, perhaps? I don't know. I'm all over the place. Some real. It's going to be fun. Power of the Force was that was one of those lines that seems to have brought a lot of people back to collecting. Heck with the older, let's see, heck with the order. Mafex should put out what would sell well, like Hut Slayer Leia. Oh my God. Can you imagine if they did that? Oh, that thing would sell out instantly. That would sell out instantly if Hasbro were allowed to do it. People would go crazy. Let's see, but I think we can all agree that the one person we're all sad we didn't get to see in Rescue Bot style was Ironhide. He was going to be in a red pickup truck. That might not have been too bad. That would have been better than a black pickup truck, which just threw away all design knowledge that we had of Ironhide. I'll always be thankful to the Black Series for giving the world a Bill Burr 112 head sculpt. Yup. They should be. You should feel thankful for that. That was seasons 1 and 2. Which one had the better head sculpt, or was it just one head sculpt? Because I know they made 2 of the figures. Yeah, and that's something too. Like with Mafex, I feel like I should be picking up the Mandalorian figures because I did appreciate the first couple seasons of that show. Oh yeah, anybody going to talk about how Chase has literal PTSD to the fall of Cybertron? That's what I'm saying, man. I didn't get into Rescue Bots, so somebody might. I'm not. Literally mentions how sad he was when he rescued RC and found Tailgate dead. He was the one who saved RC in Transformers Prime and temporarily killed Black Arachnia. Black Arachnia? Are you talking Arachnid? I don't know. I know that, I didn't know that Rescue Bots was part of what that aligned continuity would be. Let's see, Rescue Bots was really good. I might, well, I'm not going to check it out anytime soon, but maybe at some point. Parodies. Got it. Thank you, Mr. Matson. I was trying. I died a little. Sorry, phone's blowing up. I can't spell. Don't worry. I can't read. So we're even. A lot of people, they can look at that stuff and just be like, oh, here's the word that they were trying to go with. I'm looking at it like I'm going to spend 5 minutes of this live stream and try and figure out that one word. Cyberverse was boring, and Earthspark is trying to shove too much acceptance into the show. So the point the story is taking the toll just for, really? Huh. That seems strange to me with robots, but I don't know. Yes, please. That new Mafex Toby Spider-Man looks great. He does look really great. It's just like Star Wars, like OT, that's kind of my thing. And I liked those Spider-Man movies with Toby, but I didn't like them like a lot of people ended up really liking them. Plus, for me, Spider-Man's more of a comic property than a movie property. That said, you were right. When I saw that, I'm like, that is easily 1,000% the best Toby Spider-Man that has been made in action figure form. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that. In 1/12 action figure form. AR, oh my bad, Arachnid. All right, sweet. No worries. I was like, wait, Black Arachnia? But we're talking the Aligned Universe. They lost the trademark on the name, so she became Arach. Oh, I didn't know that. Let's see, I'm not against the, representation at all, but you can still let the story go on without all this extra stuff. I do agree. And one thing that I think a lot of the companies miss with that kind of thing is if you're trying to build a really massive audience, if that kind of representation doesn't feel natural to the plot, if it feels shoehorned, a lot of people just right away won't relate to those characters. The people that will relate to that kind of character is a really tiny percentage of who watches, so it doesn't really do much to build and entertain a larger part of a fan base. Not because people are horrible people. I genuinely believe people are good that are watching this stuff. It's just oh man, I can't relate. Like, I'll ask so many people, what is it you find really cool about a specific character? And a lot of people will say, I like them because I can relate to them. And so when you make being somebody in that community, make the fact that they are in that community be the main thing about them, instantly, like, what, something like 80 to 90% of people won't relate to that character because you haven't given them character beyond that representation. So I'm with you. I'm not against it. It just can't feel shoehorned. Like, it needs to feel like it's a gradual part of the story. It was like in Endgame, the one part of Endgame that took me out of the movie was because there was no story point leading up to this, when all the women in the group got together and basically saved Spider-Man and attacked and all that stuff. Because they were spread all over the battlefield, mixed in with all the guys. Everybody was fighting. It was awesome. But then suddenly that happened. And in my head, I'm like, wait a sec. Like, it feels like they missed some beats to make that happen. And then it would have been natural in the story and it would have been great. But yeah, it just, there's that stuff that feels shoehorned, and that's where problems arise, I think. All right, so more 4-LOMage, guys. Here, help me out. What does anybody else think about the fact that 4-LOM is that gone? Is like, I mean, do you think we're going to see more from Empire Strikes Back? Like I said in the beginning, I'm really grasping at straws. I know I am, but then I start thinking, wait a sec, what about all the SHF prototypes that were done several years ago of Empire Strikes Back figures? Like, is Lucasfilm finally going to loose the reins and allow these companies to start doing original trilogy stuff again, just so they can help these companies kind of stay afloat? Because what I understand, what I've heard, and I haven't seen numbers, so this is all speculation, but it wouldn't surprise me, is that a lot of the newer stuff just doesn't sell because people don't care. But that older stuff, I feel like right now there's a small window to make that work, while people that care about Star Wars will also still pick up figures. So I'm really hoping, at the same time, I know I'm grasping, that we're going to be able to go back and start building out our Empire Strikes Back teams in Mafex form. I would be so happy with that. Dave, that is the best explanation of what's going on in movies and TV right now. Well, thank you, Harry. I appreciate that. It's always, it's not that it's bad to represent different groups. I'm totally cool with that. It's just when it's shoehorned, like when there's nothing story-wise that makes it make sense. If they can make it make sense story-wise, awesome. But I think that's a disconnect between most people and Hollywood. Rescue Bots is a very highly rated show, has a good story and decent plot points. There isn't any stuff that feels shoehorned. Earthspark would have the same stuff, but they shoehorn Nightshade. Okay, gotcha. But yeah, that's my little rant. Just trying to make it all make sense, kind of like everybody else, I'm sure. Where you're like, this would be so awesome, but they kind of trashed the show a little bit by making this, just putting it there instead of giving it a story element. But yeah, I want this to mean that Empire Strikes Back is getting a full-on Mafex line. Like, it's silly, it's absurd, and I know it would take several years. I mean, Batman Hush still isn't complete, But man, and that started in 2019, so we're 5 years in. But man, Mafex is my favorite line. I would go crazy with Empire Strikes Back stuff. I would go absolutely nuts for it. All right, now, just because we kind of been doing this lately, I want to make sure that I pull up the daily deals from BBTS. And here we go. I already had it there. Since we're talking Star Wars, and we've got Commander Bly, so we do have Clone Wars stuff going on. That might be a fun one if everybody's into that. But then we've got Deluxe Jar Jar, and I don't know about you guys. Jar Jar is the most annoying character in all of Star Wars. He drove me crazy. He pretty much ruined the Phantom Menace for me, except for like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul. Like, that scene was awesome. I actually enjoyed Anakin hopping in the ship and blowing up what was that? Like whatever was creating the shield, or, the bad guys thing. Like when he flew the ship into there, blew it all up and got out of there. I thought that part was kind of cool. Everybody seems to like the pod racers going on. I thought that was cool. So I don't want to totally dump on sequel stuff. There were cool parts, and obviously they built up Anakin's character in those movies and built up a lot of people's characters. They just weren't, I didn't enjoy them as much as the original trilogy. And that could be due to the fact that I was, how old was I when those came out? I think early 20s when they first started. And maybe then it was kind of lost on me. I did notice the computer graphics, whereas before just the regular effects, the practical effects, those seemed awesome. And a lot of computer graphics, you didn't feel as immersed into it, I guess is the thing. But anyway, let's see. So we've got Commander Bly, Jar Jar the Devil. Anybody that likes Jar Jar, I'm not sorry that I said that. I'm sorry you like him. That's where I'm sorry. Let's see. Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Obi-Wan show, which I wasn't a big fan of. I do like the design of Ned B, even though he was from Kenobi as well. I think he looks cool. And these are all so far, 1689, except for Ned B. Oh, and Jar Jar's at 1320, and he's a deluxe. Let's see, Ned B's 2099 because he also was a deluxe. Let's see, Obi-Wan, another version of Obi-Wan from the Obi-Wan show. Oh, then we're getting into OT with Ponda Baba. And it makes sense that he wouldn't be selling all that well, I suppose. This is why I'm not sure about 4-LOM. But let's see here. Then we've got Echo from Bad Batch, which I do enjoy the Bad Batch, by the way. I don't want to burn that one. I think that's kind of fun, but not enough to get the figures. Let's see, and then this is one of the coolest Leias, I have to say, is this comic one, but the comic versions are for comic nerds and the people that go way deep into everything. I think a lot of people with Star Wars are into the movies and they're into the shows, or maybe only the movies, so they have no frame of reference for a Leia like this. Bix Kayleen from Andor, and the comic Black Chrysanthemum, which, look at that, $870. Yes, friends, you too can get a really skinny Wookiee. And I don't care how many people tried to argue that that was exactly how he was in the comic. He was like that in a few panels, but from what I've seen, he was much bigger in a lot of other panels. But I think they did a good job with a lot of these. None of them are anything that I need. Especially Jar Jar. If he goes down to a penny, maybe I'll pull the trigger. Just to say I have a Jar Jar that I can now burn. Just a terrible thing to say. See, gotta go. See y'all next one. CAR, thanks for stopping by, man. Spaded one, ugh, Jar Jar. I remember cutting school for day one of that movie, and that character killed the entire experience for me. Yeah, there was no cutting school for me, I don't think. What year would that have been? Was that 97? Yeah, I don't think I cut school for that. Anyway, yeah. If I did, it was college, and I was just like, I don't have to go to this stats class. But yeah, Jar Jar, Jar Jar left a bad taste in my mouth for a long time. But anyway, those are today's BBTS sales. And whoopee! But now, what I want to do, I want to go to the dude in question. Is he even up here? What the heck? Ah, here we go. Oh, hold on. One real quick thing I forgot about that I saw come over the feeds. If you missed Armada Optimus, I think he looks really good, and you can pre-order him again. So it looks like we've got a bit of a reissue here. Anyway, that was it. I was actually very tempted by him for quite some time. Now, let's look at our boy here. Oh man, you guys weren't kidding. That is totally a 3PO body, and I just didn't even think about it. Not even a little. Ah. Oh, God, he looks cool. How I didn't think about it, I'll never know. But he makes me happy. But yeah, that is totally a 3PO. I wonder if they're using the old 3PO mold, or if they totally redid it because that 3PO got kind of blasted a little bit from a lot of people. I didn't even think, because I didn't think about the fact that this was a 3PO reuse, or could be a 3PO reuse. I didn't even think to pull up an image of the other one. I love the colors on him. And that looks like, does that look a little bit like an IG-88 rifle as well? Like, was IG-88 wielding such a thing? I know not things. Jar Jar, funny, because he stepped into poopies. No, no. Jar Jar bad. I don't know if I've told you guys this. I was telling a buddy of mine this a while back. I'm like, okay, I wanted to give Jar Jar a second chance. So I thought, I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch Jar Jar. I'm going to watch The Phantom Menace again. And then I'm going to compare him to the goofiest character I can think of in the original trilogy and see if they compare. Because maybe I'm looking at the original trilogy through rose-colored glasses. No, I'm not. Because your comparison would basically be Jar Jar versus C-3PO. And C-3PO was a bit of a whiner, to be sure, but he served the story. Jar Jar was just there to be annoying. So yeah, Jar Jar Binks, the most annoying character in a galaxy far, far away. In fact, the thing that made him the most interesting was when people were coming up with their Darth Jar Jar theories. That's when I thought, ooh, maybe Jar Jar is not so bad, because he is bad. Phantom Menace was 99. Okay, got it. Ooh, that was close. I was nearing done with college around then. See, they sold kids candy where you had to suck Jar Jar's tongue through his spring-loaded mouth. Jar Jar was terrible for humanity. I don't remember that at all. Oh, yeah. Jar Jar is just bad. He's a bad. I don't like that I just said Hisa. That's what Jar Jar did to me. But anyway, I am really stoked about this. I will likely order this, and then I'll start going back and seeing about some of the other Mafex, I suppose, Mandalorian Season 1 and 2 figures. Yeah, I want this to keep going badly. But now we've talked a little bit about 4-LOM. You guys brought up Toby. So let's check out Toby here. That is a good looking Toby. And I do have to say, people are going to look at this picture here and say, oh, I don't like the way they did his shoulders. The person that they have photographing the Mafex stuff needs to learn how to mess with the shoulder placement a little more. I have all kinds of Mafex figures. I can make the shoulders on any of them look much better than that by just pushing them up a little and squeezing them in. Like, that needs to be corrected because I don't think that serves the marketing for these figures. And obviously, this is a no way home deal. Now I'm wondering if Mafex is going to do the same thing that, what was it, Marvel Legends did with Andrew Garfield with Spider-Man 2. Now see, look at Tobey's arms there. Look at his shoulders right there. And then we go back and look how derpy they look here, right? Like, I just don't think that serves the marketing photos. And then you go here, and they look way better. This picture, that's why people say Mafex has weird shoulders. This picture is, you know, what Mafex shoulders actually look like when you know what you're doing. So yeah, think he looks good. I just want better pictures for him so they can make more money because they're the best line out there, in my oh so humble opinion. That looks good too. That looks good. Wow. You know, I did look at some of these pictures, but I didn't look all the way through these. That is easily the best looking Mafex, or the best looking No Way Home Tobey Spidey. I think he's easily the best looking Spider-Man Raimi verse, or Spider-Man 1 style, or whatever you want to say, and 2 looking. Yeah, he's the best. And I don't think you're going to get much arguments out of anybody there. What was that? Oh my God. Okay. I don't have anything against Tobey Maguire at all, but the way that they angled that face, pointing it down like it is, like it's sculpted, it looks kind of freaky. Like, that's a face you're going to see in a horror movie, the way that that was done. I feel like if his face were looking right at the camera instead of down like that, I think that I don't think it would look near that creepy. Yeah, see? There it is looking right at us, and I don't think it looks that creepy. I think both of those look really good, actually. I think Mafex is starting to get a lot better at their head sculpts. Spaded one, Watu was also kind of questionable. Okay, Watto was kind of questionable, but it almost, like, even Boss Nass wasn't that bad. Like, Boss Nass wasn't bad, Watto wasn't bad. However, I do agree, if Jar Jar hadn't been, see, I think what helps a character like Watto is the fact that Jar Jar was in the movie, so he took the heat off of other potentially annoying characters. And I have to say, Watto to me wasn't that bad. Boss Nass was pretty rough. Like, if you get rid of Jar Jar and you get rid of Boss Nass, maybe all the Gungans, except Tarples. Tarples seemed like he spoke okay. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it seems like, yeah, they could have loaded that movie up with a bunch of annoying characters, and as long as Jar Jar was there, nobody would notice. That's kind of where I'm at with that, I think. See, that portal effect is pretty slick. Yeah, that's cool. Speaking, I kind of wonder about the Deadpool Wolverine portal. Where are they going? That smiling Toby is giving me Oswald Cobblepot vibes. See, again, I don't think he's bad here, like looking right at the camera, but hang on. Let's head back. Yeah, yeah, that's just, that does not serve this toy. Just, and it's unfortunate. It's a good head sculpt and everything. It's just the angle and the way they lit it and the way they shot the rest of it and everything, that just looks creepy. Great head sculpt. They just chose probably the worst angle to shoot it at for the marketing image. Again, here it's fine. See, recently found out the great Brian Blessed voiced Boss Nass. Really? Who was, wait a sec, who else did he voice? I've heard the name, and I've heard the name several times, it feels like. So who else? Yeah. Who else did he talk like? Ah. LBZ. Yo, I got that PO'd, pre-ordered. Good man. We were talking about like the creepy look they had on one of the marketing photos. But what do you think, LBZ? Do you think that we're going to start getting a lot of Empire Strikes Back figures from Mafex now based on 4-LOM? Or are you thinking it's more a one and done? I want them all, but you know me, I'm going to want anything that's Mafex, and especially original Trilogy. See, he's Voltan from Flash Gordon. Dang it! More Flash Gordon. I'm telling you guys, one day, so many people in this chat bring up Flash Gordon that I'm going to have to check it out. Grr. I'm annoyed at myself at this point. Whew. Probably. Yeah. I don't want him to be one and done, though. That would be me whining, like all sadness going on. But anyway, that's what we got here with Toby. We've got all kinds of stuff, like all the web effects. I think those are just pretty much the basic web effects that come with all Mafex Spider-Man figures. What is, because it's been a bit, what is this in the middle here that he was holding? That I'm currently surrounding with the cursor. I don't remember that from the movie. I'm assuming it came from No Way Home just because Mafex seems to stick really closely to the source material that they use. Or that, like, if it's going to be a No Way Home Toby Spider-Man, then everything that comes with it will be a No Way Home thing. So, yeah, let me know what that is. Because I don't remember at all. Oh my goodness. All right. Perhaps others don't remember it all either. Haha. So let's do this. See if there's anything else that we need to chat about. I know AR is not here anymore, but I did notice some of this. I didn't watch the Transformers stream today. I'm assuming some of these were shown there. I don't know about all of you, but my favorite line of Transformers of all time is probably Cybertron. It had the best robot and vehicle modes combined with really good articulation. Like, it wasn't ridiculously great articulation or anything, but it was pretty good. So I do kind of get stoked when I see figures coming out that are from Transformers Cybertron in the Legacy series. And I loved this version of Hotshot. That car is so good. But I love Cybertron in ways that maybe others don't, which sounded horribly wrong. I shouldn't talk. Yeah, I thought that was cool. LBZ. Yeah, not sure what that thingamajig is. Yeah, I got nothing. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's probably it's not only, I'm sure, movie specific, it's probably very scene specific as well. So we had Hotshot here. And then we have Vector Prime and Takara Tomy edition. This is one of the figures that I got. I wasn't this guy for the most part when it came to Transformers, but the Takara version, when I saw that versus the US version, it was so much better than the US version that I decided, ooh, I'm going to have to get the Takara version. Obviously, they're the same figure. It's just the paint was way better on the Takara one. Vector Prime. That doesn't look right as far as its vehicle mode. I don't know who that's a repaint of. But yeah, I thought Vector Prime was really cool too. Like it's weird. The Cybertron stuff still gets me kind of stoked. And I do love the look of that Armada one. But then an underappreciated line to me was the Robots in Disguise line from 2001. It's the only Transformers HasLab that I kind of regret missing out on when it comes. Well, the only Transformers HasLab I regret missing out on was the most recent one because I really did like RID 2001. I thought that was cool. And we've got, what was his name here? It was Speedbreaker in Japan. Oh man. Watch, it's probably Hot Shot. Yeah. That just makes me happy. And I know he's a repaint of something else. And that car doesn't look nearly as good as the car he used to turn into because one of my favorite cars of all time is the Dodge Viper. And that's what he used to turn into. And that looks nothing. They didn't even try to make that look like a Dodge Viper. Okay, what was it? Sideburn. Why could I not remember Sideburn? Ah, lame. But I remembered Speedbreaker, so there's that. The thing with Toby Spider-Man was a cure for one of the villains. Oh, got it, Harry. Appreciate it. Maybe that must have come out of when they were all in the lab working, being all Petery and stuff. Okay. Yeah, not much else here that got me all stoked. We're just going to see what kind of crate. Oh, we did not check clearance, new price sections. Ooh, Hasbro sale items. That might be key. Okay, Mighty Mugs Black Widow. So far, I'm saying it's less key. However, if you're into Mighty Mugs, that's not a lot of money at all. If you're into the Eternals, also $5 for what was originally a $20 figure. Isn't that bad at all? Retro Collection Fifth Brother from Obi-Wan. I don't know what their original prices are. Yeah, wait a sec. Save 75%. So I would say that must mean that. So around 14, 15 bucks, 13 bucks. Anyway, yeah, I guess he was originally about $13. Commemorative stamp set for Transformers. G.I. Joe Origins. Yeah, we should just skip that stuff. Let's see. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Marvel Legends Black Panther. This must be Shuri then, right? It's a fair mold. She just doesn't come with much, but she doesn't come with much, and she's $7. So if you guys are into the MCU figures and you don't have a Shuri, there you go. Oh, we have credit collection. Oh, masterpiece collector coin holder. Okay, what have I done? Why did I come in here? I was trying to find decent deals, and this is just really weird stuff. The Client, Herzog, right there, guys, for $7.80. And then another Eternals figure for $7.50. Let's see. Avengers Endgame Cap and Cap. See, 2-pack. Those do not look like Legends. Those are definitely not Legends. Don't buy this, even though it's $6. Just don't buy that. Let them sit on that so they never order it from Hasbro again. Okay, we already talked about Chrysanthemum. Here's a shocker. We have Lando on sale. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, U.S. Agent. I don't know. Like, is this even worth it to go through this stuff? Is this actually helpful to everybody? Vintage Collection Human Torch for $8.75. Masterpiece Coins. Power Rangers Lightning Collection, which at this point, I probably wouldn't buy anything that was Lightning Collection unless you know there's already a completed team out there that you need. See, 6.5-inch The Child. See, Cyberverse Adventures Ultimate Energon Armor Hot Rod figure. Yeah, I don't know, folks. Basically, at this point, I'm just seeing, I'm hoping that I'm scrolling by something that you guys are going to go, that's awesome. But I don't think that's happening. I think this is where really bad figures go to die. But it's more G.I. Joe Origins. I'm just going to laugh when I see that. I'm also going to laugh when I see Eternals. Zero from Mando Quill. Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here that's Hasbro that's on sale, and pretty big sales. I would recommend going to Marvel Legends on Big Bad Toy Store, just doing a search, and just going through and checking them out by price. Because I'm going to assume that most of the people watching this, if they're into any Hasbro stuff, it's going to be Marvel Legends or G.I. Joe, probably. It might be Star Wars, but my assumption is more Marvel Legends or G.I. Joe. And you notice G.I. Joe's a line that people actually like, so aside from Origins again. So there isn't a whole lot from G.I. Joe that's down here for super sale. We have here Bumblebee, Cyberverse Adventure. Oh, okay. I think this thing's kind of cool. Not going to get it. But for $12.50, if you've got $12.50 to throw around and you want just a goofy shark, that's probably not bad. Especially if you have a pile of loot already going. I thought Lynx looked cool. Archive Collection Han. Yeah. A lot of stuff. And at least 5 pages. Hold on. I'm not even going to go all the way through. I'm just going to click 5. I'm going to go to the bottom and see if there's any more. Nope. 5 pages worth of Hasbro stuff that you guys can check out here and see if there's something there that might be worth picking up. Whew. But yeah, weak sauce. Also weak sauce, the fact that it's not very light outside right now, so I look ultra dark. Anyway, all right, guys. That's what we've got for this one. So thanks to everybody for stopping by. Always massively appreciated, especially since I haven't been able to do much with Toypixx lately. I do plan on bringing a lot more of it back. It's just when you're trying to get clients so you can make money, that has to take priority for now. But it shouldn't always take priority because Toypixx is actually part of the plan. So yeah, again, thanks for stopping by. Have a great night. Have fun. Happy snapping. See ya next time after I make another goofy face.